let's be frank, I don't know you well enough to say this, but I'll say it anyway. You don't seem like somebody who can have just 2 a week. I think zero is going to be.
Hang on. Let's be.
I think zero is going to be.
Let's talk logistics.
By the way, your fans probably hate me right now. They're like, "Why'd you bring this asshole on?"
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a wild one. Bert Kreischer is officially out of control, and it's all on video for everyone to see. Latest episode of Two Dickheads in a Cave. Bert and Tom were joined by neuroscientist and podcaster Andrew Huberman. You may have seen his stuff on the Huberman Lab, which has been going for a couple of years, and he's also been on JRE 3 times, which is pretty much how he blew up. But I'll tell you what, if we needed concrete evidence that Bert Kreischer has officially lost his marbles, he handed it to us right here.
You do not want to become a parody of yourself. You do not want to be simply a meme of what people identified you as being. I think that's why you shake it up. That's why when Tom lost weight and started dressing real nice, all of a sudden I was like, he used to be very fat.
Bert Kreischer's been a parody of himself for years. To hear him say that is just insane. He's clearly off with the fairies at this point. But here we have this celebrated neuroscientist on a podcast with Bert and Tom. And I should say that Tom handled it really well. He's actually a distant relative of Huberman, which is pretty crazy. And then you have Bert, who basically hijacked the whole podcast. I'd say a fair chunk of the episode was dedicated to Huberman low-key telling Bert that he should stop drinking completely. So I'm going to take you through the various exchanges between the two of them. Just quickly, as always, a massive shout out to my ground level crew for all your support and feedback, especially over the last couple of days as we hit that 10,000 subscriber mark. I appreciate all of your kind words and constructive criticism, so keep it coming as we push for 100,000 subs. Also, based off what you guys have been saying in the comments, I've decided not to reveal my identity at 100k subs. I think some of you have already figured it out, but it seems like most of you couldn't give a shit, which is fine. Like I said, it's up to you guys if you were interested. So for me, I'll just focus on making sick videos for you and I won't worry about all that other shit. So anyway, here we are with Bert and Huberman. Bert's been on a diet for the last month and he's also given up drinking. So let's get into the background first and then I'll break it all down for you.
Just to bring everybody up to speed, about a month ago, Bert had a come to Jesus moment where he was like, I need to get healthier.
It was at the Jazz Festival.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was drinking. I mean, we just wake up, start drinking all day, and then...
And you were touring a bunch.
I just gotten off tour.
The festival.
I was partying a lot. And
drinking a lot, eating like a lunatic.
My cardiologist was like, fucking keto. And I was like, really? He goes,
Your cardiologist said that.
My cardiologist, he goes, there is so many benefits to being in ketosis. When you're in ketosis, you're not drinking. You can't drink. You can if you were going to break it, but I don't want to break it. So I've been in ketosis for a month, and I've been not drinking for a month, like since the Jazz Festival.
Okay, so anyone who's been following Bert for a while now knows that he's got an alcohol problem. It's gotten really bad over the last few years, and I think it's definitely affecting his output. His podcasts are shit. His stand-up is old and boring. Basically the same stories recycled over and over again. So going sober for a month is actually a really good idea. But here's the thing. Bert doesn't recognize that he has a problem. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit because it's super important if you want to understand why Bert is such a lost cause. For now, though, Huberman tries to educate Bert on alcohol and it seemed like it was starting to sink in.
Alcohol's a weird fucking word.
Now
it's overused. It's like saying...
True. They now say alcohol use disorder is another one. Listen, it's different things for different people. Some people, it's 1 or 2 at the end of the day, and they, quote unquote, need that drink. Other people, they have just 1 drink or even half a drink, but it dramatically changes their personality.
Yeah, those are
Other
the bad
people,
ones.
They drink to blackout drunk.
Yep.
Other people, they're like the Don Draper character in Mad Men. They can drink, and the next morning, there they are looking, all right angles and working, and you're like, whoa. Like how they do that.
Yeah.
A lot of genetic variation in terms of how quickly people metabolize alcohol, how thoroughly they metabolize alcohol. I'm not going to do the whole podcast episode on alcohol because I did that for my podcast. But
Do you drink?
It is poison, right?
It is
Let's just
poison.
be honest. It makes you feel the way it does because it is poison.
Yeah, this is crazy. A lot of people don't realize this. Alcohol is fucking poison. Your body literally treats it as a toxin, which it is. And sure, there's nothing wrong with drinking in moderation, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. And so for Bert, he's getting on board and he isn't really pushing back at this stage. But the reality is about to set in for him because Huberman senses that Bert doesn't realize just how bad his drinking is. And he basically lays it out for him with some hard truths.
Here's the deal. 0 alcohol is better for you than any alcohol, but the cutoff, if you're not an alcoholic or somebody prone to alcohol use disorder, et cetera, and you're of age, probably 2 drinks per week should be the upper ceiling, beyond which
Is that a guy with
so
no
there are a lot of
arms?
data now out of the UK Brain Bank that's showing that, the more you drink, for every additional drink you have per week, a little bit more brain atrophy, shrinking of the brain and loss of neurons.
My brain is firing hot.
Yeah,
I noticed my flow of speaking is going on stage. My brain is working so much better.
This is so good. This is so good. You're such a vigorous guy. Like you have so much vigor. The word that comes to mind when I think of you, Kreischer, is not alcohol. It is robust. There's like this robustness to you, right?
So there was a moment there where Bert was like, what the fuck? 2 drinks per week? Yeah, that ain't happening. And then Huberman starts to pump him up, calling him robust, whatever the fuck that means. Pretty sure that's not scientific. But then Huberman finally gets to the point here and, well, Bert isn't exactly on board.
I have a hidden agenda, which is my hope is that I saw you post on social media, you're not going to have another drink until you hit 230 pounds. I think you should cut it out for good and watch your creative work and everything else skyrocket. Yeah. And I'm sure there are a bunch of fans that are like, oh my God, does that mean I can't drink while listening to Kreischer? No, we're not talking about them. We're talking about you.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not here as a addiction counselor. I don't tell people what to do. Yeah. Right. I'm not a physician. I don't prescribe anything. I'm a professor. I profess a lot of things. But I profess that if you were to stay off alcohol completely, not only are you going to live a lot longer, but that robustness is going to be exponentially greater. It'd also be fun to just do comedy and live life through that lens. There's so much more to discover. And no, I'm not telling you have to quit smoking weed. Let's be frank. I don't know you well enough to say this, but I'll say it anyway. You don't seem like somebody who can have just 2 a week. I think 0 is going to be.
Hang on. Let's be.
I think 0 is going to be.
Let's talk logistics.
By the way, your fans probably hate me right now. They're like, "Why'd you bring this asshole on?"
There's no one who has 2 drinks a week. There's not. Listen, if you're that person, you're lying to yourself. No one goes, well, that one whiskey was great. I'll have another one Thursday. Fuck off.
I saw Tom have 1 drink the other night.
Oh, he's dead inside.
He always says this.
I don't even think you finished your drink.
I don't think so either.
I don't think you finished.
Man, I'm so glad someone who is actually qualified sat down with Bert and told it to him straight. I doubt anyone's really told it to him like that before because he surrounds himself with yes men, and his wife is probably just happy that he's bringing in the cash every month so she doesn't grill him about it. It could unsettle the beast. And look, I don't know how many of you listening to this right now know someone who is an alcoholic. Maybe it's you. But for me, I've had 2 best friends who were alcoholics, and by far the biggest barrier to getting sober and helping themselves is just acknowledging that they have an actual problem. And that's exactly what I'm seeing here from Bert. Here's how it goes. They'll stop drinking for a couple of weeks or even a month like Bert, but they're only able to do it because they know that it's not permanent. They know they'll have a drink again soon. That's how they get through that short period of time without a drink. Some of you will know exactly what I'm talking about. The hardest part for addicts to get over is the fact that they can never drink again. That's very different to stopping for a few weeks. And alcohol's everywhere. You can't get away from it. So it's the idea of not being able to drink socially or during the festive season that makes it so hard for alcoholics to get sober. They think they can drink in moderation and slow it down, but the reality is it's either 0 or 100. That's what alcoholism is.
Here's the thing, is like all the stuff doesn't compare to the sparkle you get after like a cold fucking beer where it just goes, it's all gonna be okay. You should dance, man.
Yeah, but in the back
feeling.
But in the back of your mind that shh it doesn't mean it's all going to be okay. It's lying to you.
I don't need
it's
the
saying it's all gonna
prostitute
be
to
okay.
tell me this is a business transaction. Say that you love me. I don't give a fuck how I get told I love you. Just say it in my ear. I don't care if you mean it.
So you'll
Just
pay for the delusion.
That's what drinking is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The delusion is
but the
so
payment,
awesome.
But the payment is through your biology, through your liver.
Biology, yeah,
Right.
yeah. But we're all gonna die one day.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Anyone who knows an alcoholic will immediately be nodding their head after seeing that conversation. It's the same shit. And I honestly feel for Bert. He really is delusional. I don't think he'll take it seriously and stop for good. And he's kind of lucky in a way that he's so rich. For a lot of alcoholics, they struggle to make ends meet, and that just fuels their addiction and causes more problems at home. So for Bert, it's definitely not as bad as it could be if he had to work a regular job or whatever.
There's a part of me that I grew up with that from 22 to here that when I go, who wants a drink? And that feeling, that energy, I don't ever want to lose that. It's like a first kiss. It's so fun that you're like, what's funny is I'm trying to build intrinsic value in myself by watching him sober last night and going.
You're
like,
sober from alcohol?
No. I was sober.
Oh, okay.
I was watching him sober and I went, man, this is fucking still awesome, and I don't need alcohol. Right now, it's a lot of growing things, but like I'm definitely drinking on my cruise. I want to drink at Red Rocks. Like there's times I want to have a cold beer. I want to be a part of I want to be back in the Matrix. You know, like fucking feel myself plug in and taste the steak. Like I know that sober it's more valuable and you feel better the next day, but there's a fucking sparkle this sobriety doesn't give you sometimes. I think a guy like you're so fucking smart. You can't fuck with anything but the truth. I like the lie.
So yeah, exactly what I was saying. He refuses to acknowledge that he's got a drinking problem and that he'll never be able to drink again. That's definitely the biggest hurdle, and sadly, I don't think he'll ever get over it. He even says straight up, I'll never stop unless a doctor says I have to.
If you're saying I had to hang it up right now, easy. Not if you're saying doctor says, bro, you're done drinking. Not a fucking problem. I could go tomorrow for the rest of my life.
I believe you. It's that robustness.
Yeah.
Like you could do it. I feel like you have a whole buffet of options inside of you where you could do it to say, F you, I can do it. Or you could also do it to say, I love me, I can do it. Like it feels
right
like
now I'm doing
like
it because I love me, right?
Right.
And
that's good. That's the best reason to do it.
But if you tell me, hey, just so you know, you're cool, the idea of the little...
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. Bert thinks he's in control and he's just doing it for pleasure, but the reality is he's completely under the control of alcohol. It's like he never left college. He's still keeping the dream alive while everyone else has moved on and they're able to drink in moderation, maybe have a big night here or there. And this just adds to his delusion as a comedian. The guy's recycling the same shit stories over and over again, and if he doesn't have a good story to tell, he'll just make one up. If you've seen my video on him and his wife doing a podcast where his wife actually calls him out for making shit up, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But this video wouldn't be complete without showing you a clip of Bert and Tom having zero self-awareness. This was actually cringe as fuck. So basically, Huberman's trying to explain to Bert that if he gets healthy, it'll improve his work ethic, his comedy will improve and he'll be able to think more clearly and be more efficient. And he asks Tom and Bert a question, and their response is so fucking cringe, it's actually hard to watch.
Tell me a comedian that was phenomenal, who didn't OD or something, sadly OD or something, who just like got worse over time.
I'm not gonna do that game.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, so there were even things that these guys won't say.
Yeah.
They'll throw us under the bus with all sorts of stuff. But they won't. Okay,
Yeah.
So but they exist, right?
Yeah.
They exist.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro, they do exist. You're sitting next to two of them. But that wasn't the worst part. Bert then doubles down and basically describes himself perfectly.
Don't think I'm not hyper aware that I don't want that to happen. You don't want to become...
Oh, I'm not saying that's going to happen to you.
But it does happen, and you do not want to become a parody of yourself. You do not want to be simply a meme of what people identified you as being. I think that's why you shake it up. That's why when Tom lost weight and started dressing real nice, all of a sudden I was like, he used to be very fat.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Bert's been a parody of himself for years. Everyone can see it but him and his dwindling group of fans that still think he's funny. I just never thought his delusions would become this delusional. I almost can't believe that this happened. They had a neuroscientist on their podcast who basically broke it all down for Bert and explained it really well. He gassed him up as well and gave Bert some really respectful advice, but it just went straight over his head. The guy's out of control, and to be honest, once you stop laughing, it's just sad. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll pin the best comment. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and become a subscriber so you can keep up to date with all my latest videos. I'll chat to you guys soon. See you in the next one.
Tom was a legit collegiate athlete. That's what's crazy. Were you playing football at fucking?
I didn't play football in college.
The Christian place.
You don't know him that well yet, but like he'll just be like, Tom played in the NFL.
So hey, can Stevie Wonder see?